Alright, what are we going to do about people like that? Those kind of alternate accounts, those I don't even know if they're bots. I don't even know what they are, but they've sort of been becoming a problem, and those are the ones that I'm pointing out directly. Obviously the ones that were at the very beginning of the video. I gotta address that, alright? Because it's been an issue, but I've always said I don't have any 100% concrete way to fix that issue with other people coming in and making alternate accounts. But there's certain ones where it's kind of like, alright, you've played your hand way too much and you kind of gave yourself away. So the ones that showed off, pretty much you can come back and vote. You might not see this part of the video, or you might not even see this video, and if you don't, that's kind of, I guess that's your fault, but that's your fault. I don't... Basically, the bottom line is, all those people that always vote the same character in a group, just in succession within, like, seconds of each other, from now on, I will group them together, and I have to be the... I'll keep an eye out for the votes on how they come in and when they come in, but if I see a bunch of them that vote the exact same character, all within a few seconds of each other, I mean, that's pretty much a dead giveaway, right? So, I gotta be the judge of that. You guys can point something out if you see something fishy, but, I'll be the judge of it, and, especially the ones, though. The main one I'm focusing on are the ones that I showed off at the very beginning. Those are the ones I'm focused on. If they come back again and keep doing the same thing, I'm gonna just group all their votes into one total vote. They can come back, they could have their 8, 9, 10 accounts, whatever it is, but I'm only going to count them all as just one single vote. Not 10, not 9, whatever the number, one vote. That's how I'm going to approach this going forward, so that's how we're going to do that. So, anyway, welcome back to the channel. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into the video today. Back in the tournament, back in the loser bracket, matchup-wise and result-wise, but... got some good stuff, good matches coming up, and are we in the winners bracket this week? Hold on, where are we at? 50? I think, yeah, I think we get back in the winners bracket this week. So towards the end of the week, so that'd be kind of cool. But let's get to the rules, shall we? Just in case there's anybody new jumping on for the first time. All right, you guys can see them on screen. They are very straightforward. The rules, that is, rule 1: this is for fun. That means you can vote for whoever you want. Doesn't matter. If they're in the matchup, you can vote for them because, well, they're part of the tournament. So, you vote for who you want. You don't have to vote for who's more than likely. You can vote that way, but vote whichever way you prefer. Alright, that's how I want to put it. But do remember you only get one vote per person. And how do you vote, though? I mean, down in the comments, simply type the name of the character you want to vote for. If you happen to like both the characters, or if you're having a tough time deciding who to vote for, you can vote for both by simply typing the word both. Easy solution there. But remember, only one vote per person. Rest of the rules, this is a double elimination tournament, meaning a character will have to lose twice before being officially eliminated from the tournament. And then each matchup, voting-wise, only lasts for just 1 week, so you have 7 days to get your votes in. And, you know, otherwise, if it comes in after the 7 days, you know, from when the episode first gets uploaded, the vote doesn't count because we've already moved on. But, yeah, that's pretty much all the rules. If you need to pause and read anymore, feel free. Otherwise, we're moving straight ahead into the rest of the video. All right, let's go over some results from last Monday. And what was the matchup? It was Medusa from Kid Icarus series taking on the Hunter from Monster Hunter. And let's just say this one wasn't close whatsoever. Not even remotely. Monster Hunter ended up winning this one very convincingly. 59 votes. 59 votes. Yeah, 59 votes to just 18 for Medusa, so big margin of victory there. I mean, congrats to Monster Hunter. At least moves on for one more match, but yeah, unfortunately, Medusa has come to an end. Very quick note, though. There was quite a bit of people that either said, I vote both because I don't care for either character, or I'm going to vote both just because they didn't actually know who to vote for. So there's probably at least 6 to 7 that come to mind where, you know, somebody typed the comment along that line. So, yeah, just stating that for whatever reason. But Monster Hunter advances, so we're going to advance a little farther into the tournament. So we got to go to the matchup for today. All right, all right, all right. We'll see how this one plays out. But the matchup today, Sephiroth from the Final Fantasy series, one of the most iconic villains of all time in gaming history, is taking on Sandbag, the resident punching bag of Super Smash Bros., a potential original Smash Bros. Fighter, but we'll jump into that once we get there. So let's start off with good old Sephiroth. I mean, like, you guys know my stance. I want to see a villain in Smash for DLC. That's a category of character we are severely lacking. We have a good handful, and I literally mean like a handful, like 5. K. Rool, Bowser, Ridley, Ganondorf, I guess Bowser Jr. You can kind of put Piranha Plant. You can, I mean, like there's not double digits in terms of what villains are, and I'm not saying that Nintendo has to focus on the hero versus villain aspect so much. Not because I don't need it to be like, oh, we have Cloud, so we need to have Sephiroth. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying villains in general. That's a category. Like another solo female character. That's another category of character that people really do want to see, because we didn't get that in the first Fighter Pass. So no, Byleth does not count. No, Kazooie is not a solo fighter character or solo character. So you know, there's just stuff that categories that are like, come on, we don't have much of this. We don't have many of these. Can we at least, you know, add one to that that column? You know, tally it up, put another one in there. So Sephiroth, I mean, big time villain. Final Fantasy VII is regarded as one of the greatest games of all time in history of gaming. One of the best games. Sephiroth, the boss in the game. I mean, he plays, well, a really big factor into the game. He's just iconic. You know, the character, the dialogue, the way he carries himself. You know, the presence that he has. I don't know, just everything about him. The weapons, the potential moves that he could have in Smash Bros. Is pretty incredible. So, real quick, if you don't know who Sephiroth is, or if you just never played Final Fantasy, a little breakdown. He does have potential for projectile attacks. He does summon like these meteor type things, and you could just use that as a neutral special. Just press B, boom, little meteorite comes flying in and you know, crashes in front of him. Maybe if you press and hold it a little bit, the meteorite could be a little bit bigger and will do obviously a little bit more damage. And maybe if you charge it up all the way, you know, press and hold it, and then once you obviously release the attack, the biggest meteor, maybe it will have like a little bit of maybe a berry effect. That'd be kind of interesting for a neutral special, wouldn't it? But it's got to be the biggest one charged up all the way. It would come crashing, you know, like straight down, and boom, maybe it hits an opponent. So Sephiroth would stand there and he'd like kind of, I don't know, like point forward, and then, you know, a couple character spaces away, here comes a meteorite, boom, falls down. So the biggest one, if it happens to hit your opponent, it could bury them. So that'd be kind of an interesting thought. But a lot of the moveset, or a good majority of it, is going to have to do with his sword, which makes, I think, the argument of we don't need any more sword users. I get that, you know, like, how about we get some other weapons? How about some magic users? How about some whatever else? Okay, I'm fine with that. But how about this? If we're going to get a sword user, again, in Smash Bros. Fighter Pass 2 for DLC, let's make them unique in a way. And Sephiroth would be very annoying and kind of hard to deal with, just because of the length of the blade that he has. And he would be just like, it would be like at least twice the length, maybe 3 times, I don't know, of normal actual sword users, because it's a big ass blade. I mean, come on, like that thing would be insane. The reach it could have for potential smash attacks, maybe up, forward, down tilts, whatever it might be, back air, down air, whatever that might be, could have some tremendous range to it, and just kind of like a little poke would be fun. You see the like these fire pillars down special, you know, kind of summons them, and going back to kind of charging and holding it, the move for a little bit longer than usual. Maybe if you just press down special, just a fire pillar comes like shooting out of the ground from like where he's standing. If you press and hold it a little bit longer, then you'll get 2 pillars. Or if you press and hold it, you know, for the longest duration that it can, you'll end up getting 3. one to the left, one to the right, and then one right where he's standing. So that could be kind of interesting down special, but that'd be pretty awesome. So Sephiroth villain, you got. I mean, would it be really it would be insane to see Cloud fighting Sephiroth in Super Smash Brothers first and foremost. So sign me up for that immediately, right? And then Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out. I don't think it's been pushed back anymore, but beginning of April at some point. The demo came out for the PS4, and I still haven't downloaded that, and I need to, but my PlayStation Plus ran up, and I'm being lazy, and I won't go renew it. I don't know why. But I would love to see this character. He would be, in a sense, pretty much the same sort of league as that Cloud was in. He's kind of like, alright, he's a fantasy character. He's a pipe dream. He would never happen. But since Cloud got in, maybe that gives them a bit more of a chance to actually happen, but we already know how stingy Square can be with their IPs. I mean, we still only have the 2 music tracks from Final Fantasy, so fingers crossed that if Sephiroth gets in, we could get, more than 2 more tracks, which would be, I mean, come on, Final Fantasy got some great music, so, and they could use it to help promote Final Fantasy VII if they really want to, the remake, so there's always that potential, but character, hands down, would be a fantastic addition to the game. But let's talk about a character that really gets some people upset when you talk about it, when you bring him up, when he just won his last couple matches, not just the last one, when that was kind of weird, but the last couple. Every time Sandbag wins, I always get a few people, and I completely understand it. You look at this thing and you go, there's no way this is going to be a playable character, right? I get it. How can you look at that and go, how does this work? How does he how does he have special attacks? How does he recover? How does he have smash attacks? How does he do anything? And that's where you got to really get creative. And look, if there's anybody in the game, especially Smash Bros, that can come up with creative movesets, Slackerz is the guy to do it, right? So Sandbag would be that kind of fun, like a WTF character, first and foremost, a really big WTF character. Plus, he would kind of be an original Smash Bros. Only playable character, and I think just kind of like that thought, that does make me kind of go, actually that would be kind of cool. Smash is such a huge game that it has all these different characters from all different universes. Well, Smash Bros. Is its own universe, right? Can we get a playable character? I know you could say, well, Master Hand, Crazy Hand, Taboo potentially, somebody from Ancient Minister, somebody from Subspace Emissary potentially being a playable character. I'd be okay with that too. But for the sake of argument, we got to go with Sandbag here. And let's talk moveset here. Moveset, you got to get very creative. So, oh boy, what do I always say? Side special, I could see him doing something very similar to Luigi's Green Missile. Just kind of scrunches himself up a little bit and just fires across the screen. I mean, he could do that. Up smash, that could be like a headbutt. Or you could do that for an up air potentially. Just a quick little headbutt, simple. I always kind of give him the idea of a counter, and I always kind of give you the guys the analogy of boxing. Like a training area in a gym. You got the punching bag, and it's kind of like sitting there on a rope or whatever it might be, and it's kind of swinging back and forth. If you really start hitting it hard, those things weigh a ton. So if you get, if you hit it and it comes back and you're not ready, it's going to knock your butt down. So potentially having something like that being a counter, just kind of like, hey, he's a sandbag, and that's what sandbags do. If you're not ready, you're going to get hit and you're going to get knocked down. So something similar to that. You could take some ideas from Smash Flash games. I know I think he like lays down and then he kind of like rolls. So he's like I don't want to say it's like Jigglypuff's rollout, but it's something similar to that. So a rollout, maybe that could be his neutral special potentially. I don't know, but what else could he do? You know how like Kirby and a bunch of other characters in neutral air, they just kind of do the little like 360 spin. Sandbag could end up doing that if you really want to go that route as well. Otherwise, I mean, those are just a few things that pop into my head immediately when I think about the character and how they could potentially play. So, I mean, is there potential there? Yeah, but you do have to dig quite deep, and you got to really kind of reach into the bag of inspiration just to kind of be like, all right, what could I make how can I make this happen? So, again, if there's anybody in the business, especially for Smash Bros, I mean, who better than Sakurai? And I'm sure he could probably come up with some wacky stuff, and I think people could gravitate to the character after he comes out. Could be kind of that initial, sort of like how Piranha Plant had its initial wave of the reveal, and everyone's like, what? What is this? And then he came out, and everyone's like, oh, Piranha Plant's the greatest character of all time. And then like a month later, everything died down, and nobody ever talked about Piranha Plant ever again. Kind of sad, but I think Sandbag could kind of be that same way. Would he make sense for DLC? Probably not. He'd have to be like unless he's like a free character, which I don't think they're doing any more free characters. But unless he's free, or if he's going to be the base roster of the next game, that's the only way I could potentially see that happening. But I think he'd still kind of be a fun character, just something different. But this one's easy for me. Easy for me. Sephiroth, give me my villain, please, please. Sephiroth's got my vote. Let me know who you guys are voting for down in the comments. Sephiroth, Sandbag, or both. They're all good options. But that is it for this one. So, little sneak peek for tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to how this one will play out. Tomorrow's matchup, we will have Microsoft going against Sony for a Nintendo game, potentially. We have Master Chief from the Halo series, Microsoft's 1A, their franchise player, going against Sony's, potentially their 1A character, you know, their icon, their franchise, Kratos from the God of War series. I mean, could you imagine both those characters in Smash Bros? In Master Chief and Kratos, but in Smash Bros, and then they could fight each other. I don't really need to say more than that. Can I just have both the characters, please? Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, can we work together to make that happen? That's tomorrow. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but that's tomorrow. And then results for tomorrow. Oh my god, that's going to take me forever to tally up. Tomorrow's results, I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but it was Waluigi who was taking on Rimu from the Toho project, who's probably the winner, if I'm going to be honest. Just kind of what I seen early on. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but that's tomorrow. Today's wrapping up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.